Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind was released in Japan on 1984, and it is Hayao Miyazaki's second feature film. And this is actually one of the few Miyazaki films that Studio Ghibli had no part in. And that's because Studio Ghibli didn't exist at the time that Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind came out. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is also a film adaptation of Hayao Miyazaki's manga of the same name, which consists of 7 volumes. I was reading a couple volumes of Hayao Miyazaki's manga of the same name, and I found it more interesting than what the film offered. Now, I'm not saying that the film adaptation is bad, it's just that the manga has the benefit of being more rewarding, especially with the story it has to tell throughout 7 volumes. This is a film adaptation treatment of Nausicaa, and it really should be looked at that way. The film version of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is good and does stand out on its own, and it is a well-respected Miyazaki film. However, after reading a few volumes of the manga and having seen this film twice now, I think Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind could have been an anime television series, and I think it would have been better that way. Since this is a Miyazaki film, the animation does not disappoint, and after all this time, the animation in Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind still looks great. What's not really great is the film score by Joe Hisaishi. I do think Joe Hisaishi is a great composer when it comes to making music for films, but when it comes to Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, I don't find the electronic music fitting with a film like Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. When it comes to the voice acting, the original Japanese cast does their performances just fine, like any Miyazaki film should have. But as for the English dub version, it is worth listening to, but I found Alison Lohman's performance as Nausicaa to be the weakest factor of the dub of Nausicaa. I'm not saying her performance was bad, but I found her performance not as strong as the others. In comparison to Hayao Miyazaki's manga of the same name, the film does feel like a lot has been trimmed from the source material. At the same time, when this film was being made, the manga was still going. Hayao Miyazaki was still writing and illustrating his original manga. So, in a way, this film should be taken as a film adaptation and also essentially a commercial to the manga. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Katsuhiro Otomo did the same thing with Akira. That being said, the characters are still fine and the plot is still interesting, but I really don't like how this film ends with the whole savior prophecy thing that was addressed at the end of the film. I found it forced. At the end of the day, I still recommend Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. It is a classic Miyazaki film that should be seen at least once. It's just not a strong favorite of mine. My business with Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is done here, so I will be shooting an 8.5 out of 10 for Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and an 8 out of 10 for the English dub of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. If you like this review, if you want to leave me a comment, or if you want to follow my channel, then by all means, shoot up the like button, shoot me a message in the comment section down below, and shoot the subscribe button if you feel so inclined. If you have already followed my channel, thank you very much, and I do look forward to the next Ghibli Fest screening that I will be going to very soon, which is of Spirited Away. I'm getting chills. So until my next review, good day and good night.